Hey folks, Jeff here at Backcountry. Appreciate y'all stopping by the channel today. Well, if you've been following our channel, then you know we've always got a lot going on. And this year, well, I've been extra busy. Just working on all kind of stuff, keeping up with absolutely nothing, and trying to make some progress. But that's the way it goes. And when you're trying to build a homestead literally from the dirt up, well, some stuff takes longer than others, and other things tend to crop up all the time, and well, it just never goes the way you plan. So all you can do is kind of roll with it and keep moving forward. And in that good fashion, well, I'm behind on all my videos as well. So if you've been following along our videos, I don't even know what last video I put out, but the truth of the matter is I've got some videos cataloged, so to speak, but I haven't had time to do any editing and get them all put together. So now I'm kind of making an attempt to catch up, but I still got a lot of stuff going on, so it's hard to find the time to get them all edited and put together. So here I'm going to show you this video, and really I'm going to attempt to catch you up on where we're at on one of our projects. Well, as spring was coming on, something about spring, it just really, I don't know, it has an effect on you. Let's just say that. And I was here in the spring, and I've actually been here pretty much this entire year. And, well, I got the urge to do some planting. And I happened to be in the box store, Sam's Club, I believe, and I saw a bunch of plants that they were selling. And, well, the blueberries caught my eye, and I decided, you know what, I'm going to plant some blueberry bushes as an experiment. Without doing any research or anything, I just, bought blueberries at the box store. And was it a mistake? I don't know. Time will tell. We know we've got acidic soil here. We know we got farkleberries that grow wild, and we eventually discovered that we also have blueberries that are growing wild here. And, that just made us want to plant our own blueberries as well to get some of the commercial varieties, so hopefully we can get some bigger, juicier berries. As a matter of fact, while I'm doing this video, I want to give a shout out to my Uncle Rick and Aunt Helen. They happen to have some healthy blueberry bushes, and he's part of the motivation that made me want to grow some blueberries. Hey folks, we're trying something different here. So our soil is what they call sandy loam, but then we've got a lot of clay. So, you know, red clay, it holds a lot of water, it doesn't drain well, it's very hard and compacted. I just can't imagine that most things are going to grow well. Of course, pine trees grow well, and there's a lot of other things that do well in that type of soil. But when it comes to, you know, some of your standard fruits, vegetables, etc., I just don't think they're going to do that well. And so we're working in another area of the property, and we're trying to get down to clay. Well, on top of the clay, it was in the woods, so there's a really good, rich soil on top. I mean, look at this, full of organics. This is just sandy loam mixed with clay, mixed with black, what should be good rich soil, full of roots and stuff, you know, lots of organics, years of trees dropping leaves and composting and everything that happens naturally in the woods. So, you know, in the theory of a raised bed, we brought some of this soil up. I just scooped it up with the tractor, and we're making some rows here. And then if you look at this one here, kind of level the top off, and basically it's kind of like a raised bed but without a frame. And so what I'm imagining here is you got some good rich sandy loam soil that can drain, because it's going to be on top of the regular soil as well as on top of the clay. It's about 1.5 feet thick, so there should be plenty of room for the plants to spread their roots out and go down as well. They can get to where the water is, but when it pours, I'm hoping the water drains out of this pretty well and they don't end up with wet feet and root rot and those kind of things. So I mean, this is just an experiment. It's dirt we got here on the property, and figured why not, let's give it a try and see what happens. So again, move some dirt with the tractor, put it in a row here, leveled off the top. We're going to plant, we've got some grapes and some blueberries. Now blueberries, a lot of this soil is acidic, so the blueberries love it. The grapes, I don't know, I haven't tested this soil, so I don't know how acidic this particular batch is. We've tested some of the other soil on the property, and you know, 5.5 to 6 for a pH, pretty acidic. And blueberries love that. Of course, we've got farkleberries, huckleberries. They're a relative of the blueberry that grow here wild. So no reason why the blueberries shouldn't do well. Okay, we've made our mound. Our idea is just, it's like a raised bed, but not. And Whiskey, be quiet. And we're gonna plant 5 different blueberries, all different varieties. This is an experiment, and we're gonna see how it goes, what grows best. We know that the soil is very acidic. That's what they say the blueberries like, so we think that they should grow well. But also the soil needs to drain.
How deep are we making the hole?
I don't know. You tell me.
Should be between 8 to 10 inches, so
Looks like it.
yeah, about, yeah.
So this one is a blueberry powder blue. variety is powder blue.
Whiskey, stay there.
Didn't even have roots in that other.
Good boy, Whiskey. Good boy.
I didn't do anything fancy to plant it. Just dug a hole, put it in there. We're gonna see how it goes.
That's pretty much, yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's it. This is the first time we ever grow blueberries or grapes. So it's gonna be
So this is a blueberry premier variety.
Let me see, the other one didn't have roots, right? What about this one?
At the bottom it didn't.
Let's see this one. Show me.
It's like packed in a lot of sawdust. So instead of like soil, that's like sawdust.
Wow.
With a little bit of soil on top.
Oh.
I don't know if
see
there's
roots
in there or not, but I'm gonna try not to break it.
Okay.
Oh, it came off.
Yep.
So there was no roots in. Nope, no roots in that. Alright, so powder blue and premier. We should probably
Put a little
signs
label
or
somewhere.
something. I
Yeah.
don't know. Need a shovel.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I gotta dig from the front. Because it's uphill.
This one is the best looking.
Yeah, this one is a sharp blue variety, sharp blue.
I think just one time will be okay because at the bottom is sawdust. So just one. That's it.
This one is the biggest as far as how much it's already grown. It won't come out of the bag. Tight in the bag. Cut it out.
Maybe this one has roots. That's why it's all tight. You know, too tight.
Oh, my knife was sharp. It's pretty dull. Been using it a lot lately. This one looks more like soil, the whole thing. It's not all sawdust. But it come apart there and there's no roots in there. But I can see little ones coming there.
Can you remove that root sticking out the ground? Yeah, that one. There.
say that was? Sharp blue. What do we got? Powder blue, premier, and sharp blue. This one is called Legacy. It's in sawdust.
This is the one that doesn't look too good, huh?
No, but it's green and it's got a bud on the end of it. So this is the only one that doesn't have any leaves at all, but you see this bud where it's getting ready to open on the end. So it's doing something. This is a blueberry misty variety.
So he got him, would you say like 3 weeks ago or so? From
3 or
Lowe's?
4, yeah.
And then he left to San Antonio. We came back together, and then I placed them on the windowsill. And that's how they look now.
Not much roots in this one.
Not at all. Just put all that dirt in there, yeah.
And since it rained the other day, this soil actually has a lot of moisture in it. So that should help, I guess.
All right, so we have what, 5?
5.
1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And the supervisor is way over there. Hi, Whiskey. Did he do a good job planting them?
So Misty, Legacy, Sharp Blue, Premier, and Powder Blue, right?
Yes. You got it. Good enough.
Well, I don't know how many days it's been since we planted these blueberries, because to be honest, all the days just kind of blend together. But we've got 4.5 inches of rain since we planted them, and the good news is that this mound seems to have served its purpose. The water drained well, the ground is moist but not wet. So that's exactly what we wanted. The problem is that our blueberries really aren't looking good at all. So this first one wasn't looking good when we planted it, but there's only one branch that's green, and I don't see any new growth even coming on that. So I have no idea if this one's even gonna survive. We'll see, but like I say, it wasn't in great shape when we planted it. This next one, this is Premier Blueberry, and you know, it don't look good either. All the leaves are turning red and brown, and some of it is flat out dried out, and I don't see any new growth or evidence of new growth from it either. I don't really know what the deal is with this one, but it doesn't look good. This one was one of the better looking plants that we had, and all the leaves are turning reddish brown, and other than that, I don't know, it could be signs of new growth. I mean, there's small leaves on the end there, small bud on the end of that one, so not as concerned about this plant. Now, I did research what happens when they're turning reddish brown, and they did mention like root rot and stuff like that, but we've got good drainage here, so I don't know. I'm wondering if maybe they're suffering a little bit of transplant shock. Hard to say. We're just gonna have to keep an eye on them. There's really not much we can do, but this one still is one of the better plants. We got some deer tracks where it looks like a little deer walked across here last night. This one here is the Legacy. Same thing, all the leaves are turning reddish brown. I don't see any signs of new growth on this one. Maybe some little buds here, hard to say. Gonna have to give it time, but same scenario. And this one here was actually the worst looking plant from the beginning. It had 0 leaves on it or anything. However, it's the only one showing positive signs of life. This bud on the end has began to open up, and it looks like leaves coming out of there. There's signs of other small tiny buds, leaves, branches, whatever, along the branches that appear to be growing. Another bud forming on the end of this one. So there's just signs of life there, signs of activity. Now, it's still red. I don't know if that's the way this one is or what, but we're just gonna keep an eye on it. Overall, it looks pretty good. I mean, positive movement. As far as the mound goes, I'm surprised by how much rock is in this. When that rain came down, it did wash away the surface, and we see tons of what I'll call gravel, you know, small little rocks. It's just full of it. I'm not sure if that's good or bad. I mean, I don't think it's a problem. I think that it should be fine. It'll help keep the soil somewhat loose, and shouldn't be an issue. I mean, plants grow in rocky soil all the time. So this is you know, sandy loam with lots of gravel in it. So of course here I see another footprint. Looks like a little coyote or something walked across. So the wildlife is crossing the mound there, but other than that, I mean, we did plant some thyme and dill. We'll see if it grows or not. It's listed as a good companion plant for the blueberries, so we did that. And we do have some intent to put some strawberries on these mounds as well. because they're also good companion plants for blueberries. So we figure, what the heck, let's give it a try. This is all experimental. Everything either lives or dies. We'll see what happens, but that's where we're at. Stick with us. Let's see how it goes. We just got our 5th and final variety of strawberries. We picked all ever-bearing strawberries, and these particular ones are Ozark Beauties. They're supposed to be really good. And one of the reasons why we went with the strawberries is because we planted some blueberries, and I was researching companion planting, and strawberries are a good companion plant for blueberries. And so of course, if I was going to put strawberries in the ground, I wanted ever-bearing strawberries because they produce more than once a year. And our soil is very acidic, so strawberries do well in acidic soil. It's a sandy loam. So we took some of our topsoil, made some mounds, basically so that it creates a well-draining area. And now we're gonna plant all these strawberries that we got. Now these particular ones were in the mail for a long time, so we have been soaking them in water for a couple hours just to get them good and hydrated. But they do seem to be healthy, so I don't think we're gonna have an issue with them. Now this soil does have a lot of rocks in it, but hopefully that just keeps it from becoming impacted.
I think that will be better because the roots can spread, you know, and they won't be so tight. Don't you think?
I think so. Big rock in here. Trying to get it out. So we're trying to dig the hole deep enough to where we can get all the roots straight down, or, you know, kind of feathered out straight down. You don't want to like bend them. So these have a lot of roots, and you can trim them if you need to. These have already been trimmed. And when you plant them, you want your crown to be just above the soil, so your roots all get buried. You don't bury your crown. So basically to the top of the roots is how deep you want to set your plant.
Well, so far the other strawberry crowns that we planted, they're doing great. Well, except just a few, but most of them are doing good, don't you think?
Yeah, we had one batch of Seascape, best Seascape, that didn't do so well. We had a very low survival rate on them, and because all the other ones are doing so well that were planted at the same time, my conclusion is that they just weren't a good batch. And you know, that's on the supplier that we got them from. So of course I gave them a 1-star rating because we only ended up with about a 6% survival rate, which is horrible.
But the other kind of strawberry crowns are doing great. mind that this is our very first time that we do this, planting anything.
Here,
Yeah.
other than moving trees around and stuff that were already growing here.
Right. That was just replanted.
A few of these crowns don't really look good. They send you extras for that reason. And so I'm planting them anyway, because worst case scenario, they don't make it. But I'll give them a chance.
Mm-hmm.
As far as distance apart, you know, they say 12 to 18 inches. But in all honesty, they'll grow together pretty tight. And the only problem you run into is once they start to spread, then you got to manage them more. But they'll grow. We've grown strawberries very tight.
You did when you were a little boy, no?
Yep. They did just fine. Someday I hope to get a aquaponics system set up and grow strawberries in that. It's one of my long-term goals. We've got greenhouses and stuff that we'll eventually put up, and so we've got one of them already planned to do aquaponics in. So we'll get there sooner or later. Just got to get all the infrastructure and everything done first. It's all about priorities.
Well, and this is a good learning experience for us, you know, and see if what works.
The hard thing in Texas is once it gets hot. We'll see what we got to do then. If we have to shade them or water them constantly.
I mean, right now we're just watering every 2 days or so. And so far they are doing good.
Yeah, but it ain't hot yet.
But in the summer, like you say, yeah, we may have to water them morning and evening. Because here in Texas it gets so hot.
Well, here's the first ones we planted, and this was the ones that only had a 6% survival rate. Now this was also a powder blue blueberry, and it also appears to have died. We've got some, I don't know if you can see it there, but we've got some dill and some basil that we planted as a companion plant that's coming up. There's one of the strawberries there that's doing okay. The other ones, a lot of them on this end just don't look good. And that's because that one batch we got of Seascape just were not very good. There's another one that's alive. That one is possibly got some life in it. There's a few that might come to life, but they're just not very good. Very poor plants. That company would not recommend them. Now all these we ordered through Amazon, so be sure and check reviews if you order through Amazon. We did give them a bad review. They had pretty good reviews, but you know, sometimes they start doing well and their quality control goes down. If you look at these little weeds that look like they're coming up around this plant, those are actually dill. And there's a few little basil coming up there. This blueberry, although the color I'm not sure about, if it's not getting enough water or what. We've been getting plenty of rain and we've been watering it in between. But it's kind of that reddish color. Just not sure if that's how the plant is or if something's going on there. We're just going to keep an eye on it. I mean, it's growing a lot of new leaves, new growth on there. So, I mean, it looks healthy, but just the color's weird. Moving right along. Again, a lot of crowns that don't look too great. That's still that bad batch. And then we start getting into a few of the better strawberries. This plant here, I don't remember what this one is. I'll have to go over and look at the bag there to see, but it's doing pretty well. Got some new leaves growing on it and everything. Strawberries, again, that same batch. A lot of crowns looking dead, but here's some ones that look good. Now these were some Ever Sweets and Chandlers, and they appear to be all doing well. We had a great survival rate on them. So you can look at all those. All these are Ever Sweets. They all look real good. Whiskey giving his approval there. So this blueberry here, it was almost dead looking when we got it. And one of the first things it produced were these blooms. Now I'm not going to allow this plant to fruit just because it's new and I really need it to develop the roots and everything. We're just letting it grow. It's only been in the ground for a couple weeks now, and it, like I say, bloomed out immediately, so that's kind of amazing. Before it even had leaves, it kicked out a bloom. And this particular plant, the variety is called a Misty, and you know, overall it looks pretty good. And of course, if you look down here, you can see there's a lot of basil that came up there around it, and we've got some dill as well. And this soil again is set to drain very well. I'm a little concerned that it might be draining a little bit too well, so we'll have to water it more. But the strawberries again looking great. All of them are doing real well on this end. This particular blueberry here was a Legacy, and again it's got that same brownish red color that I'm not real sure whether it's getting enough water, too much water, I don't know. But bad thing about these things is they did not have very good root systems developed. So these were all from box stores, combination of Sam's and Lowe's, and you know, they had little roots on them where they basically did cuttings and grew these, and they had roots on them, not a ton, and then they had a bunch of sawdust they were packed in. And so we're just kind of seeing how they do, but this year hoping that they'll really develop their root systems, because that's what they need. So we'll keep an eye on them and see what happens. Try not to kill them in the process of figuring out whether they need more water or they're not getting enough. Because I mean, we've had some soaking rains where it rained for you know, all day soaking, and they're still looking like this. So not really sure. Have to continue to watch them and do more research. And this one that looks really good, let's see, this was called a Sharp Blue blueberry. Now we get all kind of different blueberry relatives and stuff that grow native here, so that's why we wanted to try some of these different varieties, more commercial varieties, and see how they do. So this is really just an experiment for us. We focus mainly at this point on developing our infrastructure, so planting plants has not been a big priority for us yet, just because without the infrastructure and how we live and everything, it's kind of hard to focus on plants. And we don't live here full time, so we're still developing the place. Walking over to this mound, this was a combination of Chandlers and Quinaults, all ever-bearing varieties, and these had almost 100% success rate. I mean, I even had one little crown that was just itty-bitty, and I thought, oh, that ain't gonna make it, because it kind of busted off of another crown. But I put it in the ground, and sure enough, it's growing, so it looks like it's gonna make it. Only have one crown out of this entire batch that is debatable. This one here hasn't really shown any new life yet, but it's got this one branch there that hasn't totally died, so we still have hope that it's going to kick in and start growing. But if not, we definitely are happy with these plants, because I mean, you can look at this one, it's just going crazy, doing great. Overall, they're doing great. And if we got one plant out of the whole batch that dies, that's still pretty good, because what we did discover is every one of these companies that you order plants from, bare root plants on through Amazon, they all send extra. So if you ordered 15 plants, you might have got 18. The ones we just planted today, I counted them, we got 30 plants, and that was supposed to be a batch of 20. So they did provide extras. So usually anywhere from 3 to 10, I guess, is what we got extra in every single batch. And we only had that one batch that did poorly, but it is going to have some survivors, so hopefully we'll get that variety. It's the Seascape variety. It's supposed to be a good variety, so you know, we'll give it time and see what happens. But overall, so far so good. These are looking good. About the only criticism of our job here, I mean, we planted them close together. Like I said, I'm not real concerned about the spacing, because that's only a problem when they start to spread out, and it just requires good management of them. So when you get runners and stuff, you know, you can put down pots and let them root in your pots. You can just cut them off, or you can just let them root wherever they root, and then, you know, as soon as they root, dig them up and move them. This is more of an experiment for us, so I'm not real concerned about the spacing and everything on them. Kind of more concerned about how well they're going to do, and how they're going to do once it turns hot. Will they survive? Will they make it through the hot Texas summer? That's going to be the challenge. So we're just going to have to wait and see. But ever-bearing strawberries, Northeast Texas, we'll see how they do. As far as I was talking about the critique, we rounded this mound a little bit. Again, we get a lot of rain here, and we were thinking that we wanted this to drain really well, but like I say, I'm concerned it might drain a little bit too well. So when we did this other mound for the Ozark Beauties, we flattened it out quite a bit with the hopes that it'll hold a little bit more water. It's still going to drain well. I mean, it's a sandy loam soil, and there's a lot of rock in that soil as well, so that just makes it drain even better and keeps it from becoming too compacted. But overall, we think it'll do better like that design, and we're just going to have to watch it and see what happens next time we get some rain. It's already been rained on, and it looked pretty good, but digging in it, it's pretty dry. So we'll just have to see how it goes and keep watering these plants as necessary, and hopefully they all grow and come out good and we get some strawberries out of them. That's where we're at. Stick with us, see how it goes. Just finished putting a mulch compost around my strawberries. It's getting hotter and hotter, so they need a little help. We give them some. Put it around the blueberries as well. Blueberries are coming along nicely, growing lots of new leaves, looking good, all of them. Well, most of them. These got a lot of new leaves coming along on them. This one's looking really good. This was the most pitiful one when we planted it, and it's doing pretty well. And then there's these. Red now. I looked online and it basically said when they turn red that it's usually like a magnesium, maybe potassium, something, I don't know. So trying to give them a little minerals, but so far that hadn't done a thing. So if you got ideas what's going on there, let me know. I'm trying to baby them best I can, but they're just not improving. This one has shown some improvement, but still it's got a lot of red in it. And this one has shown some improvement. Still a lot of red as well. This one down here has got just a little tint of red, but overall it's doing pretty well. So let's keep babying them and see what we can do. And this one here is coming along nicely. You can see there's just tons of new leaves budding out all up and down it. So it's over the initial transplant shock and doing well. So that's just an update on all the berries. Well, folks, that's where we're at on the blueberries and strawberries. As always, appreciate you watching our channel and supporting us. And if you haven't done so already, don't forget to like, subscribe, ring that bell, do all that stuff. As always, take care, God bless, and we'll see you on the next one.